The Tilta Nucleus Nano 2 wireless follow focus kit packs a ton of features into a handwheel device, motor, and handle package that is incredibly affordable when compared to other wireless follow focus solutions on the market. A bright 1.6-inch screen, select camera connectivity over USB-C or Wi-Fi, long-lasting internal battery, handwheel only, auto or manual calibration, and backward compatibility with the previous Nucleus M system all make the Nano 2 worthy of a full review. Hi, I'm Granular Sheldon, and let's dive in. As an ICG Local 600 Director of Photography and a frequent camera operator, I mostly missed the first generation of the Tilta Nucleus. Not because I wasn't interested, I was just using other solutions like a Preston, Teradek RT, or even a Canon LANC zoom rocker. Since I or my ACs were already long invested in other systems, I only started to see the Tilta Nucleus systems slowly begin to arrive on set, primarily as on-camera zoom rockers, devices intended to simplify smooth mid-shot zooming for an operator, or as backups for more expensive focus iris zoom systems. It was while working on a spin-off series for Paramount Plus that a Movi gimbal operator first introduced me to his first-gen Tilta Nucleus M zoom rocker setup. I was immediately impressed by the simplicity and overall cost. Fast forward a few years, and while working on Game Changer Season 7 for Dropout TV, I needed a zoom rocker for operating and wireless follow focus for some specific promo moments, and it just so happened a Tilta Nano 2 was in my set bag ready to go. So, what are my first impressions? The Nano 2 ecosystem is made up of a handle, handwheel, and motor or motors. Notably, it doesn't require a motor driver, typically a small box placed on the camera to help wirelessly control the motors on other systems. There is some crossover between the functionality of the handle that isn't included in the base kit and the handwheel. Both can control motors independently if needed. The handwheel even has a physical side switch called a zoom rocker in the menu, which complicates things because technically the handle wheel and handwheel knob can do the job of a zoom rocker too. Confused? Don't be. In short, whether you want to control your iris, zoom, or focus while holding the camera if you want an AC to do it, you can. More on this later. Having used significantly more expensive wireless focus systems, I expected something on the plasticky side with significant wireless delay or perhaps a clunky menu system. I was wrong on all 3 points. If anything, the touchscreen is brighter, more responsive, and easier to navigate than its more expensive analog-feeling competitors. However, the on-screen buttons do tend to be on the smaller side, requiring a light and specific touch, or you'll miss your intended input. I didn't find it took long to get used to the menu screen, and the auto motor calibration is easily triggered by a long press on the exterior physical function button. Swiping left or right takes you away from the main phys screens to screens displaying different info where you can lens map to specific lens types and save that info for the future. Swiping up allows you to dive deeper into the menu. Accidentally swiping left or right mid-shot will disable the ability to use the focus knob. Still, a digital lock and unlock button in the bottom right of the touchscreen prevents you from accidentally opening another menu in the middle of filming. A physical TF/DP button lets the knob spin indefinitely or allows you to set stops in either direction. Typing out longer text on the handwheel, such as connecting to a Wi-Fi signal for firmware updates, tends to take a while. Still, with patience, you'll be able to type out even the longest passwords on the 1.6-inch touchscreen, and the fact this even has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity is pretty amazing. Setting A and B focus points is easy, a single button press for each point. and you even get a haptic vibration response when hitting either point. I initially found the haptic response too distracting, but you can tune the vibration level easily with a quick hop into the menu. Though the hand wheel is plastic, it doesn't feel delicate, and I'm not worried about damage during normal use. The motors are also light, and they're easily installed on 15mm rods when powered by a USB-C cable. Daisy chaining is possible too with multiple motors. The rear of the hand wheel has a locking NATO system that is really intended for use only with a Tilta handle, or you might damage those electrical contact pins. But since I needed a zoom rocker solution on this show, I carefully used a small clamp paired with an articulating arm and a tiny NATO piece from Wooden Camera to mount the hand wheel to the tripod handle. Then I used my thumb to control an S35 Canon CineZoom. Now let's talk about power. Each of the three components of the Nano 2 system is powered in different ways, which annoyed me initially. Standardization is always more user-friendly. Still, I quickly got used to the need for continuous USB-C powers for motors, an internally charged battery, also charged with USB-C in the case of the hand wheel, and MP-F550 or MP-F570 battery for the handle. In my experience from non-stop onset use, the hand wheel lasts for about 10-ish hours. I remember to charge it during breaks for resets. I'm happy to say it never got close to dying mid-shot. At one point, I even used a power bank normally dedicated to my iPhone to give it a quick recharge while on set. One of the points of divergence between the Nucleus Nano 2 system and more expensive systems is the general use of USB-C cables. My Teradek RT kit relies on locking LEMO connectors that you really need to work to pull out accidentally. On the other hand, the included Nano 2 USB-C cables jut out significantly from the camera body. Perhaps a right-angle USB-C cable would be the way to go here, but I do appreciate how ubiquitous USB-C is, so replacing a broken cable would be simple. My preferred way of powering the motors is with a D-tap cable to USB-C, but Tilta makes a $49 power distribution plate that takes MP-F550 or MP-F570 batteries in a pinch. Tilta also makes a D-tap to USB-C cable. Another accessories brand called Condor Blue does too, and both have worked for me without issue. In the case of a stage show with a stationary camera position, you could of course power everything off available wall power with long enough USB-C cables. Okay, let's back up a bit and chat about setting up the Nano 2. Charge the hand wheel, add a battery to the handle, if you're using the handle, and get your motors connected to your favorite power method. And you're ready to start. Power on the hand wheel by long pressing the record button on the side, same for the handle. Click on Connection in the menu, and then go to 2.4 GHz to pick channels and assign them to various motors by clicking Search. Double-click the single button on each of your motors to enter pairing mode, and you'll see them pop up one at a time in the menu. Once they're connected to your hand wheel, you can assign one of 4 colors to each of your motors by clicking the button on the side of the motor. Pick the color that corresponds to the motor placement on your lens. Purple for focus, blue for zoom, green for iris, and other, yellow intended for the variable ND filter / Mirage matte box. As I was initially using this system only for op-controlled zoom, I set the zoom to the large knob in the menu, normally devoted to focus in default mode, and messed with torque and sensitivity in the menu until I found a happy medium where I was able to dial in the smoothness of the zooms. Interested in controlling additional menu settings of your camera using the hand wheel? Several cameras support that functionality currently, and Tilta promises more are being added all the time. You can find the currently supported list for camera control in my online written review. When power cycling the hand wheel, it will remember the last settings and reconnect to both the motors and the Wi-Fi if you had previously connected. Calibration is simple, and auto calibration worked fine for me while using lenses with hard stops. For calibrating lenses without hard stops, use the manual option. It requires you to move the motor to both closed focus, then infinity, then asks for confirmation. Now, a bit about pricing. Tilta has a basic kit that includes a single motor and the hand wheel for $299. And this really is enough to get you started while being mindful of how you want to mount the hand wheel. It could be handheld in a pinch. Additional motors cost $119. Each includes a short USB-C cable and 0.8 pitch gear adapter for DSLR or mirrorless optics without hard stops. A Tilta Nano handle costs an additional $149. The handle is necessary for controlling a third motor using the wheel, or you can find it necessary just to make it easier to hold the hand wheel. The motor also charges the hand wheel from the internal MP battery. Alternatively, you can use the handle as a zoom rocker, and the joystick and onboard wheel can control motors without the hand wheel, all helpful for an operator. You might consider an articulating arm, NATO piece for mounting the hand wheel to a tripod arm, and a D-tap to USB-C cable as additional costs. So who is the perfect Nucleus Nano 2 user? Tilta proposes in their marketing communications that the Nano 2 be a backup focus system for professionals. And we should unpack that statement a little bit. For one, the Wi-Fi range of the Nano 2 system isn't as good as the higher priced systems I compared it to. Perhaps this isn't the go-to system for techno cranes and car-to-car. When purchasing, consider your own needs. The choice of USB-C comes with pros and cons. True, replacement cables are easy to source, but if an operator accidentally clips a door frame, you may lose a motor mid-shot in a situation where a locking cable would be just fine. Each Nano 2 motor provided a surprising amount of torque and worked fine with the Canon Cine series zooms, Sigma Cine primes and zooms, and Atlas Orion anamorphics I tested it with. I didn't have a chance to test more vintage optics with stiffer rings, but I imagine you would be in good shape there too, given the amount of available power from these affordable motors. If you've never worked with a zoom rocker or wireless follow focus, then this is the perfect starter kit for you. I also tend to agree with Tilta that this can be a perfect backup kit for professionals should a Preston, Teradek RT, or Aries system go down on set. Also, not all Cine zooms offer compatible servo units, for example, Sigma Cine products. And this essentially turns Cine zooms into servo move capable lenses if your project demands that type of look. All right, quick thought about firmware. From the moment the Nano 2 system arrived, multiple firmware updates were available for each of the handwheel, motor, and handle components. Initially, there wasn't a ton of information about exactly what features these updates were adding, updating, or fixing, but Tilta now has a changelog giving users helpful info about each update online. To update the handwheel and motor, simply connect the handwheel to available Wi-Fi, navigate over to System, and click Firmware Update. To place the motor in update mode, you should hold the button on the motor while unplugged, and then plug a USB-C power cable into slot 1. Updating the handle requires holding the power and M button while turning the unit on and connecting the USB-C cable to a computer. From there, drag the firmware.bin file onto the handle drive to begin the update. Alternatively, you can connect the handwheel to the handle over USB-C and click Handle Update in the firmware menu. In this option, the handwheel and the motors bypass the need for a computer. Now for some final thoughts. The Tilta Nano 2 system, in one of those rare times in the cinema tech industry, is priced in favor of the filmmaker. You are getting tons of bang for the buck here. The bright 1.6-inch screen of the handwheel, dimmable if needed, makes me wish other manufacturers would add screens like this to their Fizz systems, which cost thousands more. With the Tilta Nano 2 system, camera connectivity, a side effect of a third-party manufacturer interacting with multiple camera manufacturers, may vary. The torque is strong enough for most lenses. That is, if you aren't too far from the camera. And the menu is easy to navigate. Tilta's consistent Nano 2 firmware updates suggest they plan on supporting the system for years to come. And the fact that the original Nucleus M was introduced in 2018 also supports that idea. The Nucleus Nano 2 is now a fixture of my DP operator kit alongside my Ultra 5 Small HD monitor and my Ergo rig. There you have it. That's my review of the Tilta Nucleus Nano 2. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to Rev Studio in San Diego for their help with this review. Go to revstudiosd.com for more info on how to book their beautiful studio space.